In this video, we will discuss about the evolution of industrial engineering. So far, we have seen what is industrial engineering and the definition of industrial engineering. Again, we will start with what is industrial engineering, and then we will look at the various contributors, significant contributors to this field of industrial engineering. So, American Institute of Industrial Engineers has defined industrial engineering as a field of engineering concerned with the design, improvement, and installation of integrated systems of people, materials, equipment, and energy. So, by far, this is the most important definition of industrial engineering. That is, it's all about design and improvement and installation of integrated system of people, material, and equipment. So for any industry, you have people, you have material, you have equipment. So how effectively you are using these resources so as to increase the efficiency of the industry. That is, that is the main motive of industrial engineering. Now let us see. Let us start with industrial revolution. So the whole field of industrial engineering has begun with industrial revolution. So what happened in industrial revolution? So as we all know, the birthplace of industrial revolution is Britain, that is in the 18th century. So it started with the invention of steam engine and availability of coal and iron ore. The invention of the steam engine led to the replacement of the traditional labor-oriented cottage industries. Gradually, these were replaced by industries which was powered by machines. So the outcomes are these machines and animals addicted people, and these rural cottage industries were replaced by urban industries. So that means this economics for survival transformed itself to highly improved economics. That means now we had a specialized industries. Okay, we had specialized industries that were manufacturing a particular type of goods like textiles. Say maybe for shoes there will be a separate industry. So each industry was specializing on its own to provide specialized goods. So that means the most important thing is that these rural cottage industries were replaced by urban industries. So that these urban industries required a lot of men, material, and machines. So that means you can see the major growth in textile industry, transportation, metal cutting, and machine tool production, which employed a lot of machines and people. Now let us see who are the pioneers of industrial engineering. The pioneers of industrial engineering, the first name we need to mention is the Adam Smith. He was a Scottish economist. He was famous for the book that is Wealth of Nation. Actually, he was a philosopher, and so when he noticed the behavior of people, finally he came to these some conclusions which he noted down in the book, The Wealth of Nations. So now he is called the father of economics. So he was the first one to introduce the concept of the division of labor. That means the labor is divided into various classes, each one specializing in a particular industry or skill. Okay. So some industry will be specialized in focusing on in the manufacturing of maybe garments. Other industry may be focusing on metal cutting, like that. So this is all depends upon the division of labor. So each industry is focusing on particular skill. That means the skills of that industry is getting gradually increased. Now The second most pioneer of industrial engineering is Frederick W. Taylor. He was an American mechanical engineer. It is also called the father of industrial engineering. And he was the one who introduced the concept of time study and the principles of scientific management. So let us see some of the important concepts he introduced. So first one is the work method, which we will study in detail in the subsequent lectures. And then he introduced the concept of scientific training, then instruction and supervision, and division of work between workers and managers. So basically what he did was he tried to devise a method to do a particular job. So that is called the scientific, how effectively you can do. That is the standard method. Okay, this is the standard method. So this whole concept of this work method deals with this standard method, how to find the standard method for doing a particular job. For example, if someone is doing a metal cutting, so what is the standard method? That is, the standard method means it's the easiest way to do that job without causing fatigue and in the least time. So once the standard method is defined, we will find out the time for doing that job. That is called the time study. Okay, so this was the important idea that was proposed by F.W. Taylor. And the next concept is the scientific training. So that means he suggested that the industry should focus on training the workers rather than the workers training themselves. So that is called a scientific training. You need to train the workers before they are allotted various jobs in the industry. Then you need an instructor or supervisor for monitoring the job, monitoring the workers. And then you have the division of work. So then he focused on the division of work between workers and managers. So what should workers do and what should managers do? So managers need not do any of the jobs of workers. He has got a set of jobs to do. So that was also specified by the F.W. Taylor. Now let us look at some of the important contributors to industrial engineering the last 200 years. So let us start with Charles W. Babbage. We all know, so he was one of the inventor of one of the initial form of the computers, a rudimentary form of computer. So this was called analytical calculation machines. So that means this helped to automate the various tasks. So which further led to specialization of various industries. Okay. So then comes Henry R. Down. So he was behind, so introduced the formal training and education industry. So how to train the workers and the managers for the roles in the industry. So this concept was introduced by Henry R. Down. Then you have Frederick A. Hartley. So he was the one who introduced the concept of premium plan of wage payment. That means how the wage should be set. Okay, that means if a worker is doing doing a better job, then he to be paid more. So how to arrange the payment system, wage system, so as to motivate the workers to do work effectively. So that is the concept of premium plan. Then you have Henry L. Gantt. He was famous for the introduction of Gantt chart, which we will study in later in subsequent lectures. So that means how you are going to schedule the jobs. Okay. Then you have Frank B. Gilbreth. So he was the one behind the concept of motion study and fatigue study. That means he analyzed the job done by a worker using the help of films. That means which captured the the job, how a worker is doing a job. Then he analyzed the film and made corrections to that way of doing job. That means he suggested a better method of doing that job. So that is basically a work study, but he used films and several other techniques for studying the method of doing. Then you have Hugo Daimler. So he published the first industrial engineering handbook. Then you have the H. Emerson, that is he is the one who introduced the system of efficiency. Okay, so this was also related to this wage payment system, how to set the wage system so as to motivate the workers to do the job much more effectively. Now let us let us see the concepts after Second World War, the concepts introduced in industrial engineering after Second World War. So that means after the Second World War, there was widespread use of computers. Computers were rapidly getting used. From the 1990s, the use of computers was very much rampant. But before also that, after the Second World War, industries gradually tried to incorporate computers. And with this, we had this concept of system analysis and design. So in system analysis, we are not focusing on a particular component, we are focusing on the whole system. That means it comprises different systems. So how the system is affected. So we are concentrating more on the system rather than the important component, than the individual component. Then we had the application of mathematical and statistical tools. More of these tools were used in industrial engineering. For example, because for Second World War we had very limited resources, so the focus was how effectively you can use these resources to meet our various needs. So this led to the birth of operations research. This is one of the important part of industrial engineering now. So this uses a lot of mathematical and statistical tools. And then you have the network planning technique. That means how to accomplish a project. So this is mainly deals with how to accomplish a project. Okay. Then you have the value engineering. That means for making a product, you have various parts. So that means, so if a product goes through various processes, we analyze each process and find the value. That means we try to figure out whether that process is needed, etc. So that is mainly deals with the value analysis. Then you have the behavioral science and human factors. So that is mainly deals with the behavior of the people, workers and customers, etc. And then you have the concept of ergonomics. That means you are going to design a product that can be used by the people ergonomically. That means without any fatigue and most easily. Now almost all the chairs, desks and almost all products, that even our mobiles, etc., all are designed ergonomically so that it will cause least fatigue for the users. And so these were the concepts that were introduced after Second World War.